Hi. Well, thanks very much for coming along today. It's really interesting to talk to you actually on. So I'm going to kind of go back about a month ago to when I was in some meetings in London with one of our partners. So Headforwards does some pretty cool work. Has everybody been on the tour upstairs? Has anyone not been upstairs? So you kind of know about what Headforwards does. So we work with some pretty amazing clients actually, some of the biggest companies in the world, and we're able to do some pretty amazing technology development with them. So we're really proud of our continuous delivery. We got up to 18 releases a day for one client, and that's sort of like fully global level. Top end development is fantastic, and as a result, we're getting introduced into meetings with lots of other big companies. And the great thing about big companies is that they prioritize quality over price. So therefore, for them, having quality software is the most important thing. But what was interesting is that they. I'm sat in a meeting with like a former partner of one of the, he's been a partner of 3 out of the 4 big consulting firms, and he just said to me, "Do you know what? The most important thing you've got, I found the most important thing that Headforwards has, and we don't need anything else actually to sell the business into anyone or to convince them that they should work with us. And this is it." And I should have brought a copy actually. But basically, we have something called our career progression framework, and we've developed that over the past few years. In particular, in the past sort of 6 to 9 months, we've had a real hard push on developing that. What it does, it's a kind of a structured approach to how one would develop one's own career. So I thought that was kind of quite relevant to bring to you guys, seeing as you're kind of, I would say that you are now actually at the start of your career. You may not have started, you may not got the job yet or a salary, but in some ways actually you are actually at the start of your career, because what happens from now on is you start to develop as individuals, you start to develop technically, the way in which you work and collaborate with other people, the way you interact in team situations, the way that you work in terms of the actual programming that you're doing, or awareness of other technologies and things is actually it's starting now, isn't it? And actually, when you get a job, that's just that'll be the 4th or 5th year of your career progression. And I think it's really important to think of it like that, and to think about actually from from your own individual perspective, think about, well, what do you actually want out of your career, and actually do spend time thinking about it. It could go in all sorts of different directions, and it's not just about which languages you learn or which frameworks you learn or which technology. It's also about people. It's about how you interact with one another. It's how you potentially communicate, interpersonal skills, that sort of thing. It's about the sort of value, your values in terms of how you can explain things to other people, how you can actually perhaps motivate other people from working with them. There's a whole range of different things that makes up an individual, and actually will affect how their career develops. Now, obviously, on a technical level, it's really good to understand some of the technical skills as well. And I think that's where we've certainly seen in Cornwall, there's been a massive step forward in the past, I'd say 10 years, certainly just under 10 years. There's been this sort of kind of growth. It started with sort of Agile Cornwall, the Agile movement, which really started to affect businesses here just under 10 years ago, I suppose. And lots of businesses started saying, right, okay, we want to start start learning about how to use agile methodologies in order to improve the way that we deliver projects. So, and that therefore means you end up delivering better quality software. It means that teams are actually more effective. But then it's gone beyond that. So yes, we have Agile on the Beach each year, which is a conference which happens in July every year. It's had 8 so far. I think it's in 9th year next year. And that's where we bring in some big global keynote speakers who then attract in lots of other really, really significant national and international speakers who can share knowledge. And so that's a really important part of people's personal development. But then there's all sorts of other things going on within the industry in Cornwall now. So as I explained earlier, upstairs, we do attract a lot of people to Cornwall who are coming out of the cities. And certainly, I was in London last week, and when you sit on the tube, you can't get on the tube because it's too full, and then you get to the next one, you've got to get to a meeting, and you sort of squeeze on, and you're sort of sniffing somebody's armpit or whatever it is, and and it's people have to do that for like 3 hours a day, just commuting in and out of work. So actually, there's a lot of people that say, well, no, actually, we don't want to do that. We want to have quality of life. And now, obviously, the option to opt out of the smelly tube bit, but also actually progress one's career whilst being here in Cornwall is really great. So I'm going to take a few questions. Has anybody got any questions about that? So it's really just about, how do you develop your career? Are there any questions? No? Okay. Well, all I would say is that just think about it, because there are lots of different ways of developing yourself as individuals. Don't just think about just the tech. There's those soft, agile, for example. The team approach to working is really important. So there's the behavioural side of how people work together, understanding that, and that will really help you develop forwards. And hopefully we'll see you coming over the border, as they say, or looking around for jobs in Cornwall in a few years' time, because the industry is growing massively as London sort of spill becomes too compressed. There's a question at the back.
Toby, I'm Lewis, just starting a company down there as well. Just out of interest, what demand, kind of key demand, what types of skills coming out of your clients in London at the moment? Is it kind of around web, JavaScript development? What's your kind of order? What's the kind of concentration?
So most of our work is in cloud type technology. So we do .NET, we do Python, Go, Perl, PHP, Java. We've got clients who are using all those different technologies, but it's generally most of our work is in that area. We don't touch other areas. So therefore, that's obviously people approach us for the things that we're doing. So there may be other areas that people are really interested in. There's always the hype stuff, of course. There's at the moment it's machine learning is the big thing, and data analytics, and before that it was big data, IoT, blockchain, IoT, blockchain, big data, data analytics, all that sort of stuff. And although nobody actually has a clue what they're doing with it, but basically all the C people, like chief executive, chief information officer, chief technology officer, they're all like going, oh yeah, blockchain, yeah, and AI and machine learning, yeah. And when you ask them, how are you going to use that? They go, well, we're going to use it. Everyone says we have to use it. And I mean, we've developed some, we've innovated with some machine learning for a client and found a really useful application of it. But most of the time there's a big hype going on at the moment around that. So just be careful of the hype bubbles. In about a year's time, there'll be another set, and then a year after that, there'll be another set. And some of the hype is useful, but other don't get too dragged in by it. Thank you.